Let me ask you a simple question. If I told you that skipping one restaurant meal a week or delaying one small online purchase could quietly reshape your financial future, would you believe me? Most people think wealth is built with big salaries, lucky breaks, or risky bets. That's a myth. Real wealth is built with small, consistent decisions made over time. Today, I want to show you how just $100 a month, not $1,000, not $10,000, can become the turning point between financial stress and financial control. This isn't theory. This is how everyday people create freedom, security, and options, starting exactly where they are. Most people believe that building wealth requires a big paycheck or a large amount of money upfront. That belief stops them before they ever begin. The truth is, wealth is not built by dramatic actions. It is built by small, repeatable decisions made consistently over time. Small amounts matter because they are realistic, sustainable, and far more powerful than occasional large efforts. When someone tries to invest a large sum all at once, it often comes with stress and hesitation. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect market condition, or the perfect income level. That moment rarely arrives. On the other hand, committing to a small amount like $100 a month removes fear from the equation. It turns investing into a habit instead of a gamble. Habits create momentum, and momentum is what drives long-term success. Consistency works because it aligns with how real life actually functions. Income changes. Expenses come and go. Emergencies happen. A small monthly commitment is flexible enough to survive these ups and downs. It keeps you in the game even when life is unpredictable. Staying invested, even during uncertain times, is far more valuable than investing heavily for a short period and then stopping altogether. There is also a psychological advantage to starting small. When the amount feels manageable, people are less likely to panic during market fluctuations. They don't obsess over daily changes or make emotional decisions. Instead, they focus on the process. Over time, this builds confidence. Confidence leads to patience, and patience is one of the most underrated drivers of financial growth. Small amounts also remove the pressure to be perfect. You don't need expert timing or advanced knowledge to begin. You simply need to start. Every month you invest, you reinforce the belief that your future is worth planning for. That belief compounds just like money does. As income grows, the habit grows with it. What started as $100 naturally becomes more, not because someone forced it, but because the foundation was already built. In the end, the size of the amount is not the most important factor. The decision to act consistently is. Small amounts win because they make progress inevitable. They transform wealth building from a distant dream into a practical routine, and that is how real financial change begins. Time is the most powerful force in investing, yet it is the one factor people underestimate the most. Many assume that earning more money is the key to growing wealth, but in reality, time can be far more valuable than income. When money is given enough time, it begins to grow on itself. This is the quiet engine behind long-term financial success, and it works whether the monthly amount is small or large. Compounding means that your money earns returns, and then those returns begin earning returns of their own. At first, the progress feels slow, almost invisible. In the early years, growth comes more from what you contribute than what your money earns. This is where many people lose patience and quit. They don't realize that this slow phase is not failure, it is the setup. Compounding always starts quietly before it becomes powerful. The real magic happens when time stretches long enough for growth to accelerate. After several years, the balance begins to increase faster, even if the monthly contribution stays the same. Many people assume that once they earn more money, financial stability will automatically follow. That assumption is one of the most common reasons people struggle with money at every income level. Income can increase quickly, but without the right habits, it often disappears just as fast. Wealth is not determined by how much you make. It is determined by how you manage what you keep, and habits are the deciding factor. Strong financial habits create structure and discipline, regardless of income. Setting aside a consistent amount each month trains the mind to live below its means. This skill is far more valuable than a higher paycheck because it works at any income level. Someone who cannot manage $100 responsibly will struggle just as much with $1,000. Habits reveal priorities, and priorities shape financial outcomes. When people focus only on earning more, they often postpone good financial behavior. They tell themselves they will start investing later, once things feel easier. Later becomes years, and years become regret. Starting with a small amount removes excuses and replaces them with action. It builds the muscle of consistency long before larger opportunities arrive. As income grows, habits scale naturally. The person who is already investing $100 a month does not panic when they have the ability to invest more. The system is already in place. There is no emotional adjustment, no lifestyle shock. The increase feels normal because the behavior was established early. This is why habits matter more than income. They prepare you for success before success shows up. Habits also protect against lifestyle inflation. When earnings increase, spending tends to rise automatically. Without intentional habits, extra income rarely turns into long-term wealth. Consistent investing creates a buffer between higher income and higher spending. It ensures that progress continues even as life becomes more comfortable. There is also a sense of control that habits provide. Knowing that money is being set aside every month, regardless of circumstances, reduces stress and uncertainty. Financial confidence does not come from having a large bank balance. It comes from knowing you have a system that works. Over time, this confidence influences better decisions, less impulsive spending, and a clearer vision for the future. In the long run, income can be unpredictable, but habits are reliable. They operate quietly in the background, shaping outcomes without drama. That is why the discipline of investing a small, consistent amount often leads to greater financial success than chasing higher income without structure. Habits build wealth long before income ever does. Doing nothing with your money may feel safe, but in reality it carries a hidden cost that most people never calculate. When money sits idle, it slowly loses its value over time. Prices rise, purchasing power falls, and the same amount of cash buys less each year. This process is quiet and gradual, which is why it is so dangerous. You do not feel the loss in a single moment. You feel it years later when your savings no longer support the life you expected. Inflation works whether you pay attention to it or not. Even modest inflation compounds over time, eroding the real value of money that is not growing. People often believe they are being cautious by avoiding investment risk, but they overlook the certainty of inflation risk. While markets move up and down, inflation moves in one direction. It consistently reduces the strength of your money if you leave it untouched. Choosing not to invest is still a decision, even if it does not feel like one. It is a decision to let external forces shape your financial future instead of taking control yourself. Over long periods, this choice can be more expensive than temporary market declines. A short-term loss in the market can recover. Lost purchasing power rarely does. There is also an opportunity cost that comes with inaction. Money that is not invested cannot benefit from economic growth, business innovation, or long-term productivity gains. While others allow their money to work for them, idle money remains dependent on your labor alone. This creates pressure to work longer, save harder, and delay goals that could have been achieved earlier. Inaction often comes from fear of making the wrong move, but avoiding action does not eliminate risk. It simply shifts the risk into a form that is less visible. Over time, this can lead to frustration and regret, especially when people realize they had years to start but waited for the perfect moment. The perfect moment rarely exists. What exists is time, and time either works for you or against you. What starts as a simple financial action often turns into a powerful personal transformation. At the beginning, investing $100 a month feels like a practical step, maybe even a small one. But over time, the real change is not just in the account balance. It is in how you think, how you decide, and how you see your future. That monthly action becomes a signal to yourself that you are no longer leaving your future to chance. As months pass, progress becomes visible. Even gradual growth creates a sense of momentum. That momentum builds confidence, not because the numbers are extraordinary, but because they exist at all. You are no longer guessing if this works. You are watching it work. That experience replaces doubt with belief, and belief changes behavior in ways most people underestimate. This shift affects decision-making. Spending becomes more intentional because money now has a job beyond immediate comfort. Short-term impulses are weighed against long-term goals. You begin asking different questions, not out of restriction, but out of clarity. Every decision feels connected to a bigger picture, and that connection creates purpose. There is also a growing sense of control. Financial stress often comes from feeling powerless, from reacting instead of directing. A consistent investment habit changes that dynamic. Even when life is uncertain, you know progress is happening in the background. That stability reduces anxiety and encourages patience. You stop chasing quick fixes and start trusting steady progress. Over time, identity begins to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes to be financially secure someday. You see yourself as someone actively building that reality now. This identity influences future choices, from career decisions to how you evaluate opportunities. Confidence replaces hesitation because you have evidence that long-term thinking pays off. As income grows or circumstances improve, increasing contributions feels natural. The system is already there. There is no struggle to start from zero. What once felt like discipline now feels like alignment. The habit grows with you, quietly reinforcing smarter choices year after year. In the end, the most valuable return is not measured in dollars alone. It is measured in mindset, confidence, and consistency. $100 a month may seem small, but it creates a chain reaction. It changes how you think about money, how you see yourself, and how you approach the future. And once that shift happens, long-term progress becomes not just possible, but inevitable. As we come to the end, I want you to remember this. Financial freedom is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in quiet decisions repeated over time. The future you want does not require perfect timing, expert predictions, or a massive starting balance. It requires commitment, patience, and the willingness to start small. $100 a month is not about the amount. It is about the direction. It is a signal that you are choosing progress over excuses and ownership over hope. When you make that choice consistently, results follow. Not overnight, but inevitably. Years from now, you will not remember the things you chose not to buy. But you will feel the impact of the habits you chose to build. You will feel it in reduced stress, in greater options, and in the confidence that comes from knowing your money is working even when you are not. The question is not whether $100 can change your future. The question is whether you are willing to give your future the chance to grow. Start where you are. Stay consistent. Let time do the rest. That is how real financial change begins, and that is how lasting wealth is built.